Mandela, Savannah. Hey, congratulations, for Reginald the Vampire.
No,
Thank you
thank
so
you, man.
much.
Appreciate it.
Such a fun show. So tell us how you two were brought on board to this project and why you wanted to be part of this vampire world. Let's start with you, Savannah.
I I've always really loved vampire lore since I was a kid. Loved it. And so my agent had sent me the audition, and I read it and I really quite enjoyed it. So I self-taped for it and did a callback with Jeremiah and Harley, and read for it again. And then I actually found out on my birthday that I had gotten the part. So that was really fun. I was out to dinner and my agent called me and was like, "You got it." And I was like, "Well, that's a cool birthday present." So yeah, I was very excited to be able to hop on the project. But Mandela has a really cool story about how he got on here.
Oh,
Do it?
This is cooler than mine.
No, similar to Savannah's. I was filming another project, and with the new COVID setup, everything's self-tape. And I got an email, and I was just reading it, and I thought, wow, you got a vampire story with, the leads being people we haven't seen in these positions before. Obviously, I'm a fan of Jacobs from before, Reginald. So I knew who that was. And I thought, oh, that'd be awesome to see him as a vampire and to play alongside him. And just the dialogue and how it was written and everything just felt like it was coming from a good place as far as the creatives. Everybody was, this was their baby, you could tell. And also having it, be based on the book gave it a level of depth, and you can research stuff and kind of be responsible for bringing it to life in a way. But really one of the things that kind of was a green flag for me was just talking with the showrunner, Harley and Jeremiah, and just reading it. And I did the audition with a gold tooth because I thought, this would be cool to add this element, and they loved it. They're like, we want the gold tooth on the show. So even that was like, wow, they're open to ideas that I could bring for this character, and we can kind of create together. And I think that kind of shared baby in a way, that it's everybody's story and we're all telling it together. I think that made it really enjoyable.
most excellent. Now, I have to admit, vampires are making a big comeback this year. There are other vampire shows, but I want to hear it from you guys. Or how different and special this vampire show compared to the others this year? Mandela, go ahead.
Oh, I think our show is very different, in so many ways, as far as the casting. But I think one of the main ways it's different from other shows out there, not just vampire shows, is its ability to genre bend and balance between a comedy, a horror, a drama, a coming of age, project, and also the way we tackle social issues in a way that's entertaining and kind of dealt with in the subtext. I find that to be very, I don't know, it works out. If you get it, you get it. And if not, the dialogue still flows like a normal TV show and nobody's left out. It really depends on how deeply you want to read into what's going on. But I love how much the show does in the 50 minutes as far as keep people entertained, push the boundaries on what we expect a lead to look like, everything. We really tackle a lot, and I find that puts us in a class of our own.
You want to add something, Savannah?
That was perfectly said. I would just say, I think it's different, it's fun, and as much as I love to be brooding and thoughtful about life and nihilistic, like most vampire shows are, I think it is fun to take take the vampire lore somewhere else and have fun with it. And I definitely think we are having fun with it and having fun poking at little stereotypes and things. So I just think it's a different take, and it's lighthearted. So it's more of it's a nicer, more fun of a watch, which is really great. So you can get your fill of the vampires, but also it's not so dark. Where you feel like you have to go watch like a animated movie after to like feel happy again. So that's good.
Speaking of stereotypes, one of this show break the stereotypes significantly is diversity, because you know a lot of vampire shows has, you know, a lot of white vampires, and I want to say this is almost completely all minorities as vampires, besides, you know, Georgia, who's a minor character on this show. Could you guys talk about the diversity on this show, which is very remarkable for unlike any other vampire shows out there? Savannah, why don't you go ahead?
I think in terms of the diversity, it's nice in the fact that it's not a thing. You know, it's not pointed out all the time in the story or in the dialogue. We just are, which is really nice. I find a lot of times there always has to be a reason why there's diversity in the show. You know, like they have to like point out like, oh, this character is gay, or like this, you know, like there always has to be some sort of conversation about it. And then this one, if there is a conversation, it's more so organic. It's not pointing out like, hey, we checked a box, like, you know, give us a check, like give us a gold star. We just are, you know, we just are Black vampires, mixed vampires. We just are non-binary character. They're just non-binary. That's how they are in real life. That's their character. They're just non-binary, you know, which I really enjoy. And I think most minorities will know what I mean by that, where you see it and you're like, oh, good, they've checked the box, great. But in this one, it feels more organic, to me at least.
What about for you, Mandela?
Yeah, no, definitely. I definitely see the wisdom in what Savannah's saying. You know, with our show, Reginald, it definitely feels organic. There's not one character on there that encapsulates everything as the token everybody guy. And I feel like everybody has a bit of themselves in their character, and that just makes it natural, you know. It's great that we don't have to go out and point out this is why this is this, but on the same side of that, being the first people to play this on a screen, what can we bring to what's fresh? How can we make diverse vampires true to the people who are going to watch it? And I think that was also a fun thing to play with.
It's very true.
So on a show like this, because there's a lot of fun that actually goes on, but is it also uncomfortable with the teeth and blood, you know, being played around on a series like this? Mandela?
Yeah, you can definitely have some sticky nights for sure. I would say it's a lot of fun, but it gets messy, and I'm not crazy for sweets, so it was like a syrupy based. How would you describe the flavor? Kind of like a grenadine type vibe.
Yeah, it's like sweet. It's sweet at first, but it leaves like a gross aftertaste.
Yeah, and then also there's the you know, you mentioned the fangs and the teeth aspect, and it's fun. It definitely it's something you should practice with for sure. If you have some ideas of filming yourself with fangs anytime soon, it's fun, but you may have a lisp or two, so you gotta work that out.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, it was fun. The one scene in particular where after the dinner, we all know what we're talking about. There's that special dinner that Angela has at her house, and we have a fun way of having after dinner parties. But that scene in particular was very sticky. We wouldn't, like, it just got to the point where we wouldn't move when we were like, okay, crew, just move around us. Because we couldn't, like, we try to, like, you have to, like, peel yourself off of the other person. So in between, we're like, we're just going to stay down here. And literally the crew just, like, moved around us. You know, someone would come by with a water and a straw, like a water bottle. And you, but for the most part, you just stayed where you were.
Which brings up the point, Mandela brought up a good point, is with fangs, you know, in your mouth, how do you enunciate your lines, or do you have to like do voiceover afterwards?
I think most of the dialogue, luckily, we got to deliver without fangs fully out. Kind of have that moment where you pause and then you switch your fangs in just for the bite. But there were a couple times, because also I had my gold tooth, which always, that was with or without the fang. So I think for Maurice, there was a little bit more of kind of dealing with just practicing having something in your mouth while talking. But making it sexy is definitely hard.
Yes. I have Invisalign, so I feel like I kind of like cheated a little bit because I had a little bit of a head start on
you had practice.
Yeah, a little bit of practice with the Invisalign, so it wasn't as bad.
Now you two have your characters have a history on a series like this. How did you two develop your chemistry, and will Maurice and Angela ever get along?
Some good questions. You want to go first, Savannah?
Well, I think the fact that Mandela is like that annoying brother that, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, we got to play around a lot on in between takes. And yeah, we just kind of sorry, I have to watch my mouth. We joked around a lot, so that really helped, and it made it easier for those scenes. But I forgot what the question was.
Chemistry and whether Maurice and Angela will ever get along.
Right. That's a good question of whether or not they will get along. I think they will. I think the thing with Maurice and Angela is it's that long relationship of, we started out as lovers and then something happened and where you turn from I'm in love with you to I love you, which I think, for me at least, I think for right now, we're in that stage of I love you, I'm not in love with you. So therefore, you still care about that person. You care what happens to them. You care about what's happening in their life. But there's still that thing of, oh, you're driving me crazy at the same time. And I think that that's a really fun dynamic to play with.
Mandela?
Yeah, no, definitely. The chemistry was there. And it's great because on set, when the cameras aren't on, it's like this, we're friends, we get along, and then boom, cameras on to hate each other. So it's it's nice to have, multiple sides of the relationship going on at once. But we've definitely got quite a bit of practice being mean to each other and being friends now. So hopefully, fingers crossed for season 2, we get to see some of that unpacked more. And honestly, I gotta say, the intention from Maurice and Angela to, in the beginning was always good. It was never meant to be a bad thing. And I think just, it got messed up along the way. So possibly, yeah, there could be forgiveness down the line. There could be even teamwork, So I think when you're dealing with people who live forever and, struggling with things like vengeance and revenge, if you can live forever, how long can you really hold a grudge for? Kind of playing with that idea a bit.
Eventually, everything has to be forgiven.
Yeah.
Well, one more thing. I have a specific question for you, Savannah. Do you ever get tired of that goth look and dark lipsticks on the series for yourself?
No, I absolutely love it. I love it. I'm fulfilling all of my teenage little emo goth fantasies on screen, and it's great.
Well, you look good. You look great with that. So, anyways, Mandela, Savannah, thank you very much for carrying this conversation for Reginald the Vampire. And crossing fingers, season 2.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Yeah.
you.